Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be updating you guys on this upcoming major snowstorm for a lot of the eastern seaboard here, from regions from the southeast all the way up through the mid-Atlantic and into the northeast. This is going to be a nail-biter because if it trends west, we can see way more snowfall, and if it trends east, we can see way less snowfall, and really anything in between is possible as well. Anyways, before I get into this video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. There's not going to be any comments of the day because I'm going out of town tomorrow, so we're going to be doing no comments of the day until probably mid next week, so it's going to be quite a while, but I promise you guys it will be back. Now, we can tell there is a lot of just precipitation heading from north to south here, which is a little bit odd. We do see plenty of snow showers going on up here for Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, and even Minnesota there as well. A lot of this going on for the Great Lakes as well. We can see the precipitation typing turns off for a little bit there. And there's a big old area of snowfall here over the central United States. This is a piece of energy that will kind of work with the storm that's going to be heading up just like this. And then eventually, like I said, bringing snowfall to many of these regions, even Maine as well. I don't know why I cut them off. So a lot of the East Coast really just going to be involved with this snowstorm. The heaviest of the snowfall right now is taking place here in this region that we see in the United States. So that is worth mentioning as well. We have some showers and thunderstorms going on for Florida and then also for southern Texas as well. So let's just zoom in. First off, I guess we'll look at these regions here. Like I said, it's just the flow from north to south here through these regions. Just some snow showers throughout these states. Nothing crazy, probably no accumulation, maybe some, but if there is, it's pretty minor. And then this area is kind of heading like this. Most of that snowfall is happening here kind of in this northern region for Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. A little bit in northern Arkansas as well. This will extend into Kentucky and Ohio as well over time. That's also going to be something we're going to have to watch for. Now, there is those thunderstorms and showers I was mentioning throughout the state of Florida. They are kind of happening mostly offshore of the East Coast here, but there is these showers, and I think we have a thunderstorm potentially here near Jacksonville taking place. This line here that we're just seeing head further and further northward. It's kind of hovering around here. But yeah, there is some thunderstorm activity happening potentially there in Florida as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at that model guidance. There isn't a lot happening right now, so we're going to be talking about a lot of those models in just a moment. Now here we are taking a look at the European model. We're going to work through this one, the GFS model, and then eventually the NAM model as well, which is a high resolution model. So that's going to be a really, really good one to take a look at. Let's just move forward with this, and we're going to move all the way. Well, let me change the model run, actually. Let me get us back to 0Z, just because 0Z gets us a little bit further in. And this is our storm. This is going to be approximately 8 p.m. here on Friday. And it's going to be tomorrow, January 28th. We can see a lot of snowfall taking place for the Smokies and the Appalachian Mountains here, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia. I'm going to be in right about where that yellow dot is actually by the time this is actually happening. So I'm going to dodge one area of snowfall where I live, and then I'm going to actually be heading into another. It's very strange, but let's just continue this on, and you see this is where, you know, I would be seeing snowfall if I wasn't out of town. We still see some lingering in here through the overnight hours of Friday into Saturday along the eastern seaboard here. We're seeing heavier and heavier snowfall taking place from northeast North Carolina and northward. We're seeing a lot of this take place now. This is a 987 millibar low pressure center here by this point. And it's a very strong storm. Now, this has trended further and further eastward. I am a bit concerned, and my confidence has not gone up. If anything, just like the previous storm, it has actually gone down over time, not up. So this is just kind of worst case scenario where I'm becoming more and more unsure as time goes on, and that's definitely not how things should feel when you're getting within 24 hours of a storm starting. But just like the last storm, that's what's happening here. The models completely disagree. Models are still shifting all over the place, and west trend could happen and an east trend could happen. Usually that's not how things are. So modeling has been awful this year. It really has. I've never seen something quite like it, but things have been quite awful. Now, by the time we reach this point, we have a 982 millibar low pressure center. Still heavy snowfall along the eastern seaboard here. Let's continue this on. 970 millibar low pressure center here. So it kind of moves up like this and then does like that. We're starting to curve back in for New England, especially where we're seeing heavy snowfall. Boston could be the bullseye. Southern New England in general could be the bullseye here with this storm, just because you get kind of when it's down here, you're probably seeing snowfall on the northern end. When it's here, you're seeing snowfall here on its very western end. And then once it's here, it's still around. So all the way through that curve, you're getting snowfall within that yellow circle. Let's continue this on further. And you can see by the time we're reaching Sunday morning, snow is still lingering, but a few hours later should be all said and done. Let's take a look at that total snowfall. And it's pretty exclusive for the coast here, but as you can see from southern Virginia all the way up through the eastern seaboard, through the mid-Atlantic into New England here as well, we see heavy, heavy, heavy snowfall taking place for all of these regions. It's just ridiculous how much snowfall we're expecting with this storm, and it really is not too surprising, though, with how strong it is. So, for now, if you're anywhere in the gray, a dusting, if anything, blues are going to be 2 to 6, purples will be 6 to 10, pinks will be 10 to 20. These pastels are going to be your 20 to 30 inch amounts here. It's interesting to note that there is a lot of disagreement with the models, so definitely take it with a grain of salt. Even though we're so close to this happening, amounts could change drastically, and I apologize for that, but not making excuses here, but it's not really not just my fault, but like not any forecaster's fault, because the models are just giving us terrible disagreement, and I don't know. I've heard theories that it has something to do with that volcano that happened in the ocean, and that was a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, maybe now by now. But or yeah, it was probably like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. But generally, ever since then, things have just really got kind of messed up and with the models, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it or if it's just a coincidence that since then things have been worse. But I think that's an interesting theory. But things have been terrible with models, very inaccurate, no agreement, and really gives us not a lot to work with. We have to kind of give a range of options of things that could happen and take everything with a grain of salt, whereas usually when you're within 24 hours, there should be almost 100% certainty, but I don't feel much certainty at all, and that's just not a feeling I've really had when we're this close to a storm. Now, you might be wondering why I feel so kind of bearish on these models, like just how, down I feel about it. Let's just take a look at our GFS model real quick. Let's see how much agreement there is. We're within 24 hours. Here's the storm, much further east already. We are seeing some snowfall in here, but not as much. This is already later than the model, the European model showed. And look, no real heavy snowfall in here, just kind of some snow showers with some moderate snowfall maybe for these regions. Way further offshore. Look, the heavy snowfall doesn't even make it into the New England or Mid-Atlantic regions. It's way further offshore. It's a 979 millibar low pressure center. Now, it does kind of curve back in, but that heavy snowfall is pretty exclusive for these coastal regions here. Huge difference, and we're, again, only within 24 hours of this storm happening. Let's look at the total snowfall, shall we? Dusting with anything for these regions where the European model showed about 10 to 20 inches of snowfall. And then where the European model shows 20 to 30 inches of snowfall, this model says maybe 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. So anytime you want to blame a forecaster, especially the last 2 weeks, just pay attention to these models and what we have to work with. And the worst part of it all is there's no telling which of these models is going to be better. So really, it could swing either way. We have to kind of accept that either of these scenarios is possible, which is really tough. Now, last but not least, here's the NAM model, our high-resolution model. And there might be, somebody can make the case that these should be the models we're really using. But, these models tend to overdo or underdo things sometimes, the NAM models, and it can be tough. So we have a 979 millibar low pressure center here, already stronger than the other models have been showing. Heavier snowfall making it down the coastal regions of North Carolina and South Carolina. The GFS model and the European model didn't show that, so Yeah, these areas could see 0 to, multiple inches of snowfall, and there's really no telling, again, like, which one's going to be right. It's pretty terrible at this point. Now, the one thing I will say is this does look closer to the European model than the GFS model, which, to make matters even more confusing, that's odd because this model is actually kind of related to the GFS model, the one that showed pretty much no snow in these regions. So a model that it's unrelated to actually has more similarities to it than the one that it is related to. I don't know. At this point, it's just very, very confusing. We have a 977 millibar low pressure center already, so this model actually is much stronger with it early on. It's much closer to the coast than the GFS model showed, and probably right on par with what the European model showed. And the snowfall is so heavy by the time it reaches these regions. We're seeing a 960 millibar low pressure center, which is much stronger than either of the two models showed. And I think that's a little bullish. I'm just going to say that. I think that is a little strong with it. Usually this NAM model towards the end, you see it kind of get a little bit crazy. So that is something to mention, is it definitely is probably overdoing things there at the tail end. But this model just says, a dusting, if anything, 2 to 6 inches all the way down to almost Charleston, South Carolina. 6 to 10 here in the purples, 10 to 15 inches, or 10 to 20 better yet here in the pinks. So those are all over the place. And then these lighter pastels, that's where we're at about 20 to 30, and then we have 30 inches plus in here. Again, this is where the GFS model is saying maybe 2 to 6 inches. So, you could get anywhere from 2 to 40 inches of snowfall. We're 24 hours away. Pretty tough, but this is what the models are showing. I'm just giving you guys the raw data. This is what we have to work with on this storm. This is a true boom or bust scenario. Really, really tough here. This could swing either way. I guess this is what weather's all about, the unpredictable, but this is just crazy at this point, in my opinion, guys. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, I really could move down to a 3 out of 6, but I'm sticking with a 4 out of 6. I'm hoping that somewhere in the middle of the GFS and what the European model is showing is kind of the right guess. So that's where I'm kind of confident in, is it's not going to be as low as the GFS is showing, but probably not as high as the NAM and the European model are showing. So something in between is a safe bet, but really, I mean, it's tough to say at this point, and I hope you guys understand that. Now, we're not going to have a comment of the day today, like I mentioned, but for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Larry the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kunalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, John Calisi also, and I would also thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Finn, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.